Hello and welcome back to the channel and happy First Contact Day. Yes, April 5th is First Contact Day in Star Trek, though we are still about, I don't know, 30, 40 years off from that. But yeah, today, April 5th, celebrated by all Star Trek fans, is First Contact Day. And I decided for this First Contact Day, I will basically tell you my first contact with Star Trek. Now, I'm recording this a month in advance. I'm literally recording this the 1st of March. And I can already tell, not only from the title and the thumbnail, and from me just saying that, AJ has rolled his eyes. AJ, if you're watching, comment below if I was right. I'm pretty sure I was right. Anyway, back to my first contact with Star Trek. So, my first contact with Star Trek goes all the way back to 2002, I believe. Either 2001 2002. Whenever Star Trek Nemesis came out in cinema, was my first contact with Star Trek because I was 4, I believe, and it was the first Star Trek film I ever seen in cinema, and I was dragged to it because I was not a Star Trek fan as a kid until later on. Um, and even after watching Nemesis as the first Star Trek media that I've ever watched, it took me a while to get into it. Like, I literally had, like, even before getting into Star Trek and watching Nemesis in full, the only thing that I remembered from the movie and seeing it in cinema is the Doom Buggy scene. That's it. That's literally it. Just the Doom Buggy scene followed by a massive explosion and the finding of B4. That's it. That's all I could remember from that movie as a kid until I seen it in full when I became a Star Trek fan. So, when did I fully become a Star Trek fan? I'm gonna say 2009. 2009 was when I became a Star Trek fan. Now, I can't remember exactly how I became a Star Trek fan. It was either through watching episodes of The Next Generation and Voyager on the Sci Fi channel on Sky, or it was from watching the 2009 Star Trek reboot of the Kelvin timeline films. Is one of those two. I can't remember, but I do remember watching a lot of the episodes. It was mainly the Borg. I think that's what that got my attention, as well as maybe a few other episodes that got my attention. And since then, I've been a lifelong Star Trek fan, and I've loved the show ever since. There are, like, with a lot of TV shows, there's a lot of episodes of each iteration of Star Trek that I don't like, and there's some that I do like more than others, that other people might not like. But yeah, so since getting into Star Trek back in 2009, almost 20 years ago, Christ, I'm old. Um, I would, watch whatever Star Trek episodes were on for the Sci-Fi Channel with Next Generation and Voyager. Those were the only two Star Trek shows that they would show. They wouldn't show the likes of the original. Well, there was another show, another station, CBS. I think it was CBS that used to show old Star Trek the original series episodes, but I could never get into it. Even to this day, I still can't really get into the original series, and I own every episode of the original series on DVD. I should really try and get back into it. Um, but I think with the original series, I'm just gonna watch what a lot of people claim to be the best episodes. Like the episodes that I have seen from the original series, um, is Mud's Women, uh, Mirror Mirror, the two-parter that they done to reuse the pilot episode, um, and then I've seen Space Seed. I think that's it. I think that's all I've seen of the original series. Well, that and the first couple of episodes of season one, um, like Charlie X and all that. Those are all that I can remember right now off the top of my head. But with so that's how many episodes I've seen of the original series. With the next generation, still haven't seen every episode. Um, I've seen, I want to say, 50 to 60% of next generation. And as for the rest, Deep Space Nine and onwards, I've seen every episode. I've seen Deep Space Nine. I love it. It's great Star Trek. I've seen Voyager because I genuinely love Voyager. Voyager to me is my favorite Star Trek series. I've seen it all the way through once, or twice. I can't remember. I think it's twice. Um, and then, of course, I watched Star Trek Enterprise. And then with the Star Trek Revival back in 2017, I have seen every episode of Discovery, Lower Decks, Picard, Strange New Worlds, and um, Prodigy. I've seen it all. I've seen every episode. I never miss an episode um, of of New Trek, and I love it. I genuinely love Star Trek. I've it's definitely as I don't mention it that much in videos, but I am autistic, and it is one of my niche interests. Like as AJ says, my knowledge of Star Trek is next to none. Essentially, because I do know a lot of the lore, and I know a lot of ship names. Like for just like a lot of people don't know the ship class of a particular starship. They'll know the name, like the Enterprise C. We'll take the Enterprise C for example. The Enterprise C ship class is the Ambassador class. That's what it's called in canon, and it's as well. Like I know the Akira class, which is was first seen in First Contact. It has a few variants, like the Steam Runner. Um, there's what other ships are there? There's the NX class, but in beta canon, it got dubbed the Columbia class, but it is technically canon. It is canon to be known as the NX class of ships. See what else. There's the Excelsior. There's a few variants of the Excelsior. The Enterprise B is a variant of the Excelsior. Um, the let's see. There's two versions of the Stargazer. One which was of course captained by Picard back in the day, and then there's the new Stargazer that we've seen in Picard season 2. And yeah, that's just stuff off the top of my head. In terms of like the ship layout, you have the sausage section, the neck, the secondary hull slash the engineering hull, and then you've got pylons that hold the warp nacelles. Um, and yeah, that's just showing how much knowledge that I've gained from this being a special interest for me. So yeah, I genuinely love Star Trek, and I love the movies as well. Like I've seen them all a handful of times, and next month I'm going to be revisiting the movies and doing reviews on them, including my not favorite Star Trek movie, The Wrath of Khan, and I'm going to re-review my absolute favorite Star Trek film, First Contact. Um, yeah. So yeah, I don't know what else really to say other than I love Star Trek. I'm slowly trying to add all the physical media Star Trek into my collection. I have all of the original series in DVD files. I have seasons 1, 2, and 3 of the Next Generation. I have I'm looking here 4, 5, and 7 of Deep Space Nine. I have all of Enterprise seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I have season 1 of Discovery on Blu-ray, and I'm pretty sure that's it. And then as for the movies, I own nearly all of them on Blu-ray. The only one I'm missing on Blu-ray is Generations, and then I'll have them all on Blu-ray. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a fantastic First Contact Day. I hope you do actually watch First Contact, since it is First Contact Day. I myself will be watching it, as it's going to be a new yearly tradition for me. So, thank you all for watching. Peace and long life.